everybody. Welcome back to Yee-Haw, a Bonanza podcast. I'm your host, Melissa, and today we are watching Season 1, Episode 27, The Last Trophy. Hope y'all have been doing well. It's super hot over here today. My gosh, it's like 99. It's pushing 100. It is so disgusting and thick and humid. This has been the most ridiculously hot summer I can remember in recent years, and honestly, it's kind of miserable because it looks beautiful outside, but you can't enjoy it whatsoever because the heat is just beating down on you. Anyway, we're fighting that over here today. How are you guys? I hope everybody's doing well. So today we're going to be watching The Last Trophy, which is just such a utterly bizarre script. It's so strange. I don't even know how this story got greenlit, if I'm being honest with you. Like, after watching it, I was just so dumbfounded. It's a wild one. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So, this episode was written by Bill S. Bollinger, David Dortort, and Fred Hamilton. It was directed by Lewis Allen. It premiered March 26th, 1960. And its special guest was Hazel Court, but it also featured Edward Ashley, Bert Freed, Ken Mayer, Naomi Stevens, Don Hicks, Jimmy Carter, Jerado Decordovier, that's a heck of a name, Alan Jaffe, Dick Johnstone, Ray Jones, Cherokee Landrum, William McCarter, and Buddy Roosevelt. I gotta tell you, these names never fail to disappoint. You always get the most interesting compilation of names in every episode description. There's always some ridiculously cool name that's like over the top. The episode description is: an English couple comes to the Ponderosa on vacation, but the wife slowly makes it clear that she is disappointed that her husband, a great hunter and action man, is becoming more peaceful and not the man she married, though things may change for her after they are kidnapped for ransom along with Adam Cartwright. I can't even. Oh my gosh. Let's watch this very, very bizarre episode. But first, if you are new here to either this podcast on YouTube or Apple Podcasts, but specifically YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube today, click that like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Or if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please consider leaving me a positive review because every little bit helps, and I would be so eternally grateful if you did. Okay, so let's go to notable things and trivia. So this week's guest star is Hazel Court. She was this is so interesting. She was known as the Queen of Horror. And now I'm super fascinated, and I think I have a new handful of movies to watch over spooky season. So on her IMDB page, it says that she is best known for The Curse of Frankenstein, 1957, The Mask of the Red Death, 1964, The Man Who Could Cheat Death, 1959, and The Raven, 1963. It says that her horror queen popularity officially started with her role as Elizabeth in The Curse of Frankenstein. And it said that in that movie, her real-life daughter played the young version of Elizabeth as a child. So that's pretty cool. Her first horror movie was The Curse of Frankenstein, which she co-starred in with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, two very, very big names in Hollywood. It says one of Hazel Court's biggest fans was horror writer Stephen King, who mentions her in his various novels. I can't read Stephen King because I'm not a big horror fan, but that is very, very interesting. It says in her last years of life, she was strongly critical of the increase of sex, violence, gore, and bad language in films, singling out the films of Quentin Tarantino for special dislike. Queen. I don't really blame her for that because I also am not a big fan of Quentin Tarantino films either, but that is another thread we can talk about on another day. And finally, it says, in addition to acting, she was also a painter and sculptor, and she studied sculpting in Italy. I did not know that she was known as the Queen of Horror, and now I really, really, really want to watch The Curse of Frankenstein, because I do enjoy Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee as well. So I'm going to have to mark that down for films to watch over spooky season this year. And then on the box set, we had an episodic promo, and then we had a bunch of promotional pictures of Hazel Court and Pernell Roberts, like just like very sensual, like lovey-dovey pictures of herself and Purnell. And then there's a really hilariously random photo of her and Michael Landon for some reason. It's like it looks like a promotional romance shot of the two of them, which is really funny because Michael Landon was not featured prominently in this episode, with the exception of maybe like 1 or 2 scenes. But most of the pictures are of her and Purnell. There are a lot of really cute shots of them in between takes where like Purnell's laughing and she's laughing. Very, very sweet. And then there is a shot on here I think most of you will be familiar with. It's a picture of Purnell Roberts and Hazel Court holding a Ponderosa themed cake, and they're like playfully pretending to lick frosting off their fingers. If you look up that picture online, you should be able to easily find it. And I'm not sure the exact context for this photo. So I looked it up on ChatGPT because, again, the box set doesn't give details. And as far as I could gather from ChatGPT, it says that the cast and crew were celebrating finishing the filming of The Last Trophy, and they made a cake celebrating it. I'm not sure if that's true. That's just what ChatGPT said and what I was able to gather online. So if you happen to know the context for this photo, or if you were able to find more details on it, let me know. I would love to know. I'm not sure if the information I gave you is true, but it's what I found. But the cake is pretty cool. You know, it's pretty detailed. I'm impressed. That would be a really fun birthday party. You do a Bonanza themed birthday party and then have the cake be the map. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. For anybody who knows me. For my next upcoming birthday, get me a Ponderosa themed cake. Anyway, I think a lot of you will be very familiar with that photo. So that sums up the box set and a little bit of trivia on this episode. So let's go ahead and pull up our copy and get into this very, very strangely scripted story, which I'm still trying to make sense of. This is just a weird one. Anyway, guys, get your copy of the episode pulled up and let's do it, I guess. Okay, guys, are you ready? We are hitting play in 3, 2, 1, go. Bum ba bum bum ba ba bum bum ba bum bum bum. Oh, wait, they didn't complete it. I love that fake mountain in the background. I need to post those aerial photo shots of the set because it's like literally just like a flat piece of wood as the fake mountain. And here is actor Bert Freed, I think. Yes. Bert Freed. Why don't we drop it, old chap? So stereotypical British. I love this because Adam comes out of literally nowhere. We don't even see him in the beginning. We don't see Bert Freed walk past him. He just kind of shows up. Like, Not the romantic music swell. She's already set her sights on him. Game, set, match. I can't with this episode, you guys. Oh boy. This is a classic example of what were they thinking? The last trophy. It's Adam. Ooh. She's got that, Hazel Court has that beautiful, is it transatlantic accent? Like she hangs on every syllable. It's so appealing to listen to. On another note, all the suits, all the Cartwright men in the suits. 10 out of 10. That was really weird dialogue. Reminiscing is a part of being a man. And then Adam goes, or a woman. Just weird dialogue there. I talked over that dialogue about reminiscing, but that was just really weird. I don't know if it was like the writing or the pauses. Very strange. Did you see the face Adam made? He was like, oh God. Bro, you are married to a cougar. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This episode, you guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Have you considered that maybe you're the problem, Beatrice, and it's not your husband? Now, what happens here is kind of appalling to me. The fact that Adam lets it happen is even more appalling. which again speaks to the wishy-washiness of season 1 when it comes to the actual characters. What are we doing? Are you serious? And then, you know what really, really gets on my nerves about this scene? It's never mentioned. Never mentioned. Beatrice and Marion talk about it, like, briefly, very, very briefly. But this never comes up again. Like, Adam never makes mention of it to Beatrice other than being like, wow, you're really trying to hurt your husband. They don't talk about the actual kiss itself. Nor does Ben say anything. Ben's like, oh, okay, you know, like, whatever. Nor do Marion or Adam have a conversation about it. It's such a strange choice. And it's an even stranger choice to me that, like, Adam would let that happen. You know? Like, at least have him resist. Like, why did he just let her go in for it? Like, and I guess you could argue in this scene that, like, Marion's like, okay, I know for a fact it wasn't Adam. I know it was you. But like this, they're trying to write it in as like, oh, Marion is such a weak man because he didn't lash out in anger at Adam. And it's like, okay, I understand where you're trying to go with this. At the same time, I think it's kind of problematic that you throw that in and then you never do anything to, like, address it. So, like, Adam never talks to, like, Marion about it. And being like, hey, dude, why didn't this bother you? I don't know. The whole thing's, like, such a mess. Like, I understand why they put it in there, but I don't think the writing fully follows through on it. Like, everything's just gung-ho and dandy. Adam and Marion are just have this, like, this strange, quiet, mutual understanding that Beatrice is just a terrible person and nobody talks about it. Like, everybody's cheerful here. Ben doesn't even say anything, which is super strange. And that kind of feels out of character for Ben. Again, I just think it speaks to the wishy-washiness of the characters in season 1. Like, nobody's completely defined yet. They'll do things in one episode, and then in the next episode, they'll do something completely different. I guess that's just natural starting off a show. So you're still pushing and pulling against the characters, trying to figure out who they are as people and how they behave. On a rather random note, if you watch these Bonanza episodes on YouTube, there's a YouTube channel that's uploaded all of these episodes. But they pitch up the voices ever so slightly, and I don't know if that's because of copyright or if that's just the way that they have the episodes, like with the cast's voices being like ever so slightly higher. But watching the episodes in their original format reminds me how deep and baritone Pernell Roberts' voice actually was. And it's a little jarring for me every now and then because I've seen these episodes on YouTube so many times and I've gotten used to the pitch of those that going back and watching them in their original format, especially with Pernell, is very strange because he had such a rich tone to the way he spoke. blasted. Oh my gosh. Dude, Beatrice is the worst. She's the worst. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I don't know if I made any sense earlier when I was talking about the kiss and no other character talking about it throughout this episode, but there's so much back and forth in behavior in these season 1 versions of the Bonanza cast. Like two episodes ago, an episode ago, I would have believed that Ben would have pulled Adam aside and been like, hey, what's going on here, man? Why were you guys kissing? That's a little rude considering one of my dearest friends is here and you're already making a move on his wife. Like, the fact that it just isn't mentioned between Ben and Adam is so strange to me. Let me put it this way. It makes more sense that Marion wouldn't address it with Adam in the context of this story because he's like a little beta and he doesn't want to lose his wife. But it doesn't make any sense to me that like Ben would see that and not have a conversation with Adam. Or the fact that like Adam would even allow that to happen. Like, I feel like Adam's character has a bit more like dignity and pride. And he'd be like, what are you doing? Your husband is one of my father's oldest friends. This is inappropriate. That realistic location over there where we're standing on the set. That's a huge cone. Oh, he's facing a cougar right now. Oh, she's so weird. This whole episode is so weird. Like, why pick this story? Oh, old Adam's got his cougar. There is absolutely no innuendo here whatsoever. I'd also like to mention that we never find out what happens to this little boy. Like, just half starved, dehydrated to death. And then, we never hear of this kid again. And in about 3 or 4 years, Adam will shoot little Joe here. Or at least it looks like the same location, if not very similar. Also, I'm just curious where they got this extra added in footage of the cougar. Like where did they get the royalty free footage? Or how they outsourced that, I guess. That honestly, that probably is the same location where they shot the episode My Brother's Keeper. Uh was it on Iverson Ranch? Maybe? I'm not sure. I still want to go to California and visit all these filming locations, like find some episode shots and then do comparison shots with the way the locations look now. I think that would be really fun. It's Beatrice. Plot twist. Beatrice turns into the cougar. I would say at night, but it's morning. Way to go, Adam. Wow, she's not a very good wife. Adam's like, please, I don't want to know. The fake plushy looking cougar. I love that. That's so great. Adam, aka I really don't care, so don't tell me. True. Indeed, unfortunately. I don't like this episode because they try to make out like there's this problem with Marion, like he's lost his courage. When in reality, we have this very toxic, villainous wife who's ostracizing her husband for literally no reason other than the fact that she's not turned on by him anymore. And so she sets her sights on Adam, not only to make her husband jealous, but because she is, in fact, the real cougar. like, like, what is this story? What are we saying here? This is just like this is not even that interesting or gripping of a premise. A woman who's lost interest in her once adventurous husband. Now, if you made about the husband himself and his search for his dignity again, you could do something with that, but the episode doesn't do that. Also, assault. Like, what? What are we doing? Ew. Where was this when you initially kissed her? Great answer. Where was this when you guys kissed the first time? Like, that reaction should have been Adam's first response. That should not have been his second response. Ugh. And I don't like Adam's writing in this episode. I find it to be very out of character, and he seems incredibly inconvenienced, like, the entire time. I did not like any second of that. I don't like Adam's writing in this episode at all. And this poor man, he was just here to be expendable. You know, somebody had to die, and it certainly wasn't going to be any of the main three. So, yikes. That would hurt really bad. Imagine waking up, you're groggy, you reach for something, and then you get hit in the arm with a huge arrow. You know what I would have liked, actually? I would have liked if Adam got hit in the leg, right? Like, really, really injure him, okay? And then you can leave it up to Marion at the end. Because at the end, it's still kind of Adam who saves the day. It's not really Marion, which is stupid because the entire episode, you think it's going to build up to this, like, important moment for Marion to, like, grasp his masculinity or whatever. But no, ultimately it still falls to Adam at the end. And I don't like that. like if you're going to set up a plot like that, you have to follow through. Like, cuz Adam doesn't seem to be all that injured to me. Like, if you give him a bad injury like in the leg, I think that you not only raise the stakes, but then you put more of the pressure on Marion, which maybe the audience like would then root for him more in the end. That was a very like exposition-y line. He's got our guns and he trashed them over in that cave. I will say, Bert Freed. Why can't I remember his character's name for the life of me? I can't keep track of these casts, you guys. There are so many characters. It's hard for me to keep up. Anyway, Bert Freed, him, actor. I thought he was very hateable in this episode. And if I had to pick one of the better aspects of this episode, of which I don't think there are many, I think he's probably on the higher end. Like, I think he's very easy to dislike. And I think he had potential to be like a very threatening bad guy, but they just kind of write him like he's a bully. He's dead, Jim. Only he's dead, Joe. I absolutely love, love, love that fake plushy cougar in the back. It's it's just so fake looking. I can't help but love it. I can smell him. You know, like, you know what I mean? It's like you can like look at somebody and you're like, ugh, I just know what he would smell like. Musty, cigarettes, dirt, sweat, the lack of deodorant would be very apparent on that man. You know, you know what's funny is like I don't even think that Marion is that cowardly of a character. I don't think he comes off that cowardly. Like I think they just show that he shows restraint. I think showing restraint is a strength. I don't think he's written in a manner which it's like, oh wow, what a coward. It's just like he kind of knows what battles to fight and what battles to not fight. You know, I think one could argue that maybe he's just classier than the average man. He's not as like rugged Wild West, oh, you insulted my honor and now I'm going to punch you in the face kind of guy. He's like, okay, you insulted my honor. What of it? Like, if they wanted us to view Marion as a coward, then maybe him actually do like cowardly things. I don't know. Just the writing, man. Beatrice. Her hair looks amazing. Very stylistic, very, like, pretty. It's got, like, such a nice shape to it. Dude, if Adam got hit in the arm with a arrow, that would hurt so bad, and he doesn't even look inconvenienced by it in this episode. And that might be, like, partially due to Purnell's acting, but also, like, partially due to the fact that the script has absolutely no urgency to it. Like, they both don't seem that disturbed by the fact that, oh my gosh, what is that guy's name? Bert Freed's character is, like, making a move on her. Also, this fight has happening for some reason. You took my hat. Prepare to die. Over the top jump. And, like, what was the point of that fight other than to lose the knife? Like, I can't with this script. There is no urgency to this story. It's like the characters are meandering their way through it. Oof. You know what? That soundbite, Adam Cartwright, the man with all the answers, perfect for a fan edit of Adam. I'm just saying. Actually, I'm going to make a note of that. Adam Cartwright, the man with all the answers. That would be such a good edit for his character. You know what they also could have done to give this episode a little bit more oomph? Kill Marion at the end. Have him and Bert Freed's character fight it out, and then both of them die. And then he dies in the ultimate sacrifice for his wife. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't love or appreciate or value him as I should, because he was just a man who showed restraint. But in a critical moment, He jumped in to defend his wife and died in doing so. Like, that even would have helped the episode a little bit more. But I'm just confused. Like, who is this episode about? Is it about a man trying to reclaim his dignity? Or is it about a woman who is just a terrible, toxic wife? And takes any opportunity to make her husband feel terrible about himself. And now and then now we have this issue of my husband doesn't love me because he doesn't fight for me. What are we trying to say here? Is he afraid? Yeah, no kidding. Beatrice is the real cougar. She is the real villain of this episode. This episode is not about Marion's fear. It's about Beatrice being a terrible, terrible person. Yeah, I feel bad for Marion. I gotta be honest, I would rather watch an hour of Joe and Haas wandering, looking for Adam and the group, as opposed to watching the main plot between Marion, Beatrice, and Adam. Look at his mustache, dude. Like the way it curves up. That's an impressively clean looking mustache. Dude, let him have her. She has treated you terribly and has given you no incentive to defend her. Maybe Marion hasn't defended Beatrice because Beatrice isn't worth defending, quite frankly, because she treats him so terribly. How generous. Leave her. Leave her. Leave her. No. You should have been shot in the leg because this injury, quote, end quote, on Adam is extremely unconvincing. That's the whole thing about this episode is we're spending so much time like chatting. It's like, is there any urgency to the situation at hand? It goes back to the characters. It just feels like they're kind of walking through this episode. They're just meandering. Like things are just happening, and it's like, oh well, this is an inconvenient situation. Yes, actually, it does. Put up your dukes. I love this because then you can see the easy switch to the stun doubles. It's so great. I love it. I feel like we need some music here. You know, like the Star Trek fight music from the original series. Bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. That's what I feel like we need here. Oh, not the old kick to the face. Oh, very interesting piano climb from David Rose there. That is just, that was, what was that? That perfectly tripped moment so the gun perfectly falls into Adam's hands. That was so corny and over the top. I wish I could rewind that and play it in slow motion. That was just ridiculous. Hold on. Thank God Joe and Haas are here to save the day from this terribly scripted episode. Like Marion is like he fights. Okay, now she's all in love with him again. Marion fights the Bert Fried character. Sorry, I can't remember the character's actual name. But then it's Adam who gets the gun and then like ultimately saves the day before Joe and Haas come in. So I don't even think that they gave that moment to Marion in the way that he deserved. I would have loved it if he had taken the gun instead of Adam. Ugh, but then again, I shouldn't have any expectations for this episode. I mean, based on the script alone, I'm shocked it got greenlit because it's not a good story. And all of a sudden, this relationship is. Oh, now you know the man is more important than the tiger. What is that line? What do you mean? She fell in love with him again after she understood the true meaning of fear? What are we doing? Guys, what are we doing? and it's over. It's all magically solved. The conflict. And now Lady Dunsford truly understands the meaning of fear. Oh, God, what was that episode? I don't even think I'm going to have very much to say on this, if I'm going to be totally honest. But, let's get through it. What was the theme of that story? Don't underestimate how much your peace-loving husband loves you, or you truly don't know the meaning of another's fear until you have a knife at your throat. What is this episode about? I don't even know. Okay, well, Hazel Court was playing a very unlikable, very toxic, very underdeveloped character, but that's not her fault. She did the best she could with a very, very, very poorly conceived character. As far as performances go, I think Bert Freed was the standout. You wanted to punch him the entire time. I think he had the makings of a really good bad guy, but his character wasn't written in that interesting of a manner. He was just like the bare minimum of a bad guy, which is unfortunate because I think he had potential to be like a lot more threatening and a lot more scary. Marion, played by Edward Ashley, good actor. I liked him. I just felt bad for his character. I felt bad that he was married to her. And I'm like, dude, you need to get out of your toxic marriage because she clearly doesn't appreciate you and she takes every opportunity to fling herself at other men. So I just ended up feeling really, really sympathetic for him the entire time. And then I don't know what was going on with Adam's character in this one. It was just so strange. His response to the kiss, like he leaned into the kiss. And then the rest of the episode, he was pretty much standing around looking inconvenienced by the entire situation. So like his writing didn't do him much justice either. I didn't really particularly enjoy any moment in this episode. I love that hammy ass way Marion grabs the Indian guy's foot and then the gun is like thrown at Adam and Adam catches it in this very dramatic over the top way. It's like such a stupid over the top stunt, but because it's so stupid and over the top, I absolutely love it. But overall, I think that this was a very dull episode. Like the premise is just so uninteresting. Like why should anybody care about what this lady thinks of her husband? In a lot of these episodes in season 1, I think that they needed minor changes to make the episodes overall work. But for this story, I wouldn't have even greenlit it in the first place. If you were going to write this story, which I wouldn't have done, I would have made it all about Marion and Marion trying to like reclaim his identity. Maybe when the Cartwright brothers meet this amazing friend of their father's, they find out that he's a shell of his former self. And then it could become a story about reclaiming your dignity and your life and your sense of adventure and creating new adventures for yourself in like your older age as opposed to your younger age. Instead, we got this. On top of that, I thought that a lot of the scenes felt stiff and weirdly acted, almost kind of felt like the actors were reading their lines off of a script. And I think that just speaks to the weakness of the script. Maybe not the actors as much, but like some of the dialogue was really, really weird. Overall, I think the writing was poor. I think it was a poorly conceptualized story, and I think it was poorly executed. So I would have to say this is one of my least favorite episodes of season 1. If you're going to take away anything from this episode, it's that the real cougar all along was Beatrice. So maybe Marion should have shot her. I'm sorry. Am I being too hard on this episode? I don't think this episode is very good. I think it's a mess. Anyway, you guys, please let me know what you think. I have a very low opinion of this episode, as you can see. Do you have an opinion that's different from me? I would love to know your thoughts. So drop a comment on my YouTube channel. Comment on an Instagram post that I make. You can follow me over at Yee-Haw Bonanza Pod on Instagram. You can also follow me on TikTok. You can also write me an email if you're so inclined with your thoughts on this episode at yeehawbonanzapod@gmail.com. I think that's correct. Either way, it'll be in the description section of the YouTube video, so you can find it there. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the last trophy. Yeah, I have no reason to watch that again. So please let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. We've got about a month till September, which is absolutely insane. I don't know where this time is going right now, but hope y'all are doing well. And I will see you next time when we watch San Francisco. Oh, this one's funny. This is the one where Ben gets shanghaied. This is a very entertaining episode. So that will be a step up from this one, but please let me know what you think, and I will see you next time when we watch San Francisco. I will see you guys later.